Okay, so this is a comment on my YouTube car channel. So let me read the one from Joshua Carfor. He said that should be released bearing is pretty normal. So I think he's just commenting on the video I made concerning the breakdown of a major breakdown of my 406 V6 manual. No, you see, it's not that type of sound we are referring to. I know how release bearing, the common way they fail, the kind of sound they make. So I know the one you talk about, the one that don't sound the whistle when you press the clutch pedal, or when you release the clutch pedal, they'll be making one kind of noise. Normally, this sound usually is constant. The one you are referring to, when release bearing fails, the noise becomes constant. So this one is something is grinding. That's what I'm saying. Something is grinding. It's not even, and the way it does is when the car, it's not constant. You can drive from here for like 1 kilometer, you won't hear that sound. Then all of a sudden, you hear, I don't even know whether it's grinding. I don't know how to describe the sound. You just be running as if I don't know what. Then all of a sudden you press the clutch pedal. Sometimes it stays on, sometimes it goes on. Press the clutch pedal, then it goes off. You release it again, it doesn't happen. Then all of a sudden it starts. And then sometimes you press if it starts, you press the clutch pedal, it stays on. Even when the clutch pedal, it stays on. If you stop the vehicle, even though you still leave the engine on, but the vehicle is stationary, it will stay on. Then all of a sudden it goes on. And once it goes off, it will not happen again until you engage the gear, the car in gear, and start. The car goes into movement. If it's the clutch pedal, it doesn't matter. If it's the release bearing, whether the car is in motion or stationary, the sound will happen. So that's what I'm trying to explain to you. So I'm not ruling it out. Like I said, I know it has to do with the clutch. I'm not ruling it out, but this is not the normal way or the normal sound release bearing makes when they fail. In fact, the way it does, let me put it a different way. The way it does is as if something fell inside the bell housing. So sometimes that thing will be jumping about, then maybe it will go and hit something and say grinding. Then you, after a while, press the clutch pedal, maybe it will release that thing from grinding. Then you keep jumping inside the bell house until you hit another place again where maybe the clutch plate is, the friction plate or the pressure plate is spinning with the crankshaft. So I don't know. Like I said, until I remove it, everything will be guesswork. But this is not the normal way of clutch release bearing failing. I know the usual sound. In fact, like I said, if it's the release bearing, it doesn't matter whether you're in motion or the car is stationary. Once you start the engine, you press the clutch or release the clutch or leave it running, one way or the other, the sound will come up, and most times to stay constant. This one doesn't until the car goes into motion. So release bearing, once the car goes into motion, it's no longer at function. That's what I'm saying. I know how release bearing, it's no longer at function. It's only when you depress the pedal, then the issue comes back. But once it's off the pedal, it's no longer working. Worst case, if it's bad, it will just be dangling. You can be hearing the dangling sound this but release bearing tends to make noise when you press the clutch pedal, not the other way around. I've been using clutch manual for since the 90s, so I know pretty well how manual clutches fail. But still, I understand what you mean, but you made it sound like, oh, no, come on, it's a common thing. No, it's not. Though the V6, this V6 release bearing is completely different from standard release bearing in Peugeot cars that you know of. Of course, when I release it, when I remove the gearbox, separate and show you guys to see what it looks like. I know I've done a video during the conversion of my 407 when I went through with the clutch kit. I think I must have shown it. I can't remember. Done a video to show you guys what the release bearing is. The ES9 clutch release bearing is just different. The clutch fork is not the standard type. So we see whatever it is. The thing, like I said, once that gearbox comes down, I may likely put the 6-speed. Even though the 5-speed might still be in good condition, I probably just remove it and down keep as spare and put the 6-speed. That's the way I'm looking. That's what I'm beginning to consider. So whether it's the clutch, whether it's the gearbox, once I get that 6-speed, now the point is, once the 6-speed conversion kit is gathered, I can also just put it in. That's the thing. Then if it's the clutch, I'll deal with it the best I can. I don't have problem if it's the release bearing. Maybe I might be able to get another one. They don't sell good new ones. For what I've gathered, that V6 release bearing, you can't get a good one for new one. You have to be used, and to get used, you have to buy the pressure plate. So even if you don't want to use it, because it's usually once you put it, it will stay. It will be difficult. It's usually difficult to remove from the pressure plate. It stays permanently attached on the pressure plate. You won't detach it unless you have to figure out that. I've been able to figure out how to detach it, but it's not the standard way of removing. Unlike the other ones, the release bearing stays on the clutch fork. This one doesn't. It stays on the pressure plate. Pressure plate is what Nigeria call clutch disc. It stays there like I said, like permanently, but you can still detach it somehow. But it's not. You have to be technical to know how to do it. So that's why I say it's completely different. But we'll see. Okay, so let's go to the second one. This one I think is a little bit cut off. Let me see. This is the full one. So this is from Pixels of Proof. It said, I'm looking at getting a 406 or 407, but all I'm hearing from friends is electrical problems. Another thing is they say the manual is better and more reliable, but I'm an automatic driver. I don't know how to drive a manual. I need help. Number one, I don't understand what you mean. You don't know how to drive manual. Anything can be learned. You didn't suddenly start driving automatic without learning how to drive automatic. I know automatic is so easy that people can easily figure it out, but you still put in some training. You didn't just enter and say master it immediately. From the very first time you geared automatic car into drive. It's no longer about it, because you just have to have that ability to be able to control the entire vehicle and keep it on a straight line, and so many things involved in driving. So like I say, it's not just about the transmission. So everybody, when did we started driving automatic, or when did it become common? People have been driving manual, meaning that it's normal thing. You learn how to drive it. Maybe sacrifice like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I know the training, let's say, what's it called, driving school, that 2 weeks will not be enough. So you see, it takes a while to eventually master it, even after the first 2 weeks learning how to drive manual at driving schools or whatever they call it. So if you buy a manual, what I usually tell people, know that you are going to, you see that the clutch that is on that car, you are going to damage it, most likely. Doesn't matter how, even if you spend 2 months at the driving school learning how to drive manual, most likely the first clutch, I'm not saying it's common, but it's expected. I never damaged mine, but when I started driving, but I know it's just expected. So it's always like saying, out of every time, people that learned how to drive manual, when they now started, maybe learned how to drive manual at driving school, when they now started driving their manual cars, about 7 or 6 of them burnt their clutches. So by the time they replace it, they now mastered it. Why some, even after 4 years of driving manual, still they keep burning their clutch. They kept burning their clutches. It's just like that. Some that clutch doesn't last like up to 6 months. It doesn't matter how original new clutch you put there. Every 6 months they have to replace. In fact, sometimes less than 6 months. you know. But it's very easy. Those ones are not carelessness. It's no longer that you don't know. Like, for example, there are rules how to drive manual. You burn your clutch because of how your clutch application. Abuse, actually, not necessary. You know, some will be driving, even though you already, you know, you've already engaged the gear, pushing you still leave your left leg on the clutch pedal. What do you think you are doing? You are burning your clutch at that time. You only press the clutch pedal to the floor when there's a need to change gear, or you know, maybe there's there's a way you may want to move the vehicle or something. You may not need to depress it fully. You use it when you learn how to drive, you understand. But my point is, you only use clutch pedal just every once in a while. But some, it's like the way they hold their throttle pedal, they press on the throttle pedal almost all through the drive. That's how they also do the same. Press their other leg on the clutch pedal throughout the drive. You keep burning your clutch. So, but why, if every majority or a lot of people know how to drive manual well, what's the big deal? So that shouldn't be a reason not to buy a car. But I understand, if you're a manual person, no, if you're automatic person, you're automatic person. You may not really like manual no matter what. So my point is that it shouldn't even be a factor that you don't know how to drive manual. Because you didn't know how to drive car before you started driving. So so let's go back to the first point. You said you are hearing from friends that 406 and 407 it's electrical problem. It's electrical problem. Yeah, they will give you electrical nightmares if you buy an abused one, or if you abuse one after purchase. It's as simple as that. So I'm not going to come here and claim otherwise, or say your friends are lying, or they are misleading you, or they are ignorant. Yes, if you are the type that abuse cars, because this usually happens from people that switch from Japanese or other brands. They abuse, because those ones, especially their older Japanese cars, their electricals are not as complex as European or American cars. So they abuse their own, and their cars will be very forgiving. Then they now switch to other brand that have all these more gadgets or sophisticated system on their cars. They will start treating the same way. They are these complex cars the same way you do those older Japanese cars. Because newer Japanese car now, the electrical system are also very complex. So if you try what you did in your 2001 Japanese car, if you try it on their 2015, or maybe 2019, 2020 Japanese, man, they will deal with you. So it's not about, it's about personal responsibility, and also call it maintenance culture. You all know, once you're an adult, you know the right thing. It doesn't matter what you think. If you like, try to justify it by saying, oh, things are hard, and you know the right thing. When you are giving someone car to do electrical repairs for you, you know that this person, probably this car is beyond his capability. You know this car has gone beyond anyhow local repair. You know. Don't tell me. You know how much did you buy the car? You think if this car is so complex and very expensive, you purchase it, and you think one low side this thing that probably don't even know how to read wiring schematics, or read workshop manuals, or electrical workshop manual, to know what to do, to know how to diagnose. That can't even interpret, doesn't even know how to operate scan tool. You give it a vehicle to figure out maybe a very severe electrical issue, and you're telling me it's not your fault. Why can you say that? So that's what I'm saying. It's up to, if you buy such a vehicle, you are the one to determine whether the car will deal with you or not, depending on how you maintain the car. Issues will always come up. Things will always fail. Doesn't matter. But how do you get about diagnosing and solving the problem? You can get the scan to yourself and do the diagnosis. You may not be able to do all the diagnosis electronically, but at least these cars, they don't actually fail like what people think. It's just the normal wear and tear of sensor, this and that. If you scan it, tell you, is this sensor? You go online, Google, what does this sensor on this particular engine model in the Peugeot 406 or 407 look like? You see it. You see the location of the sensor on the engine or whatever. You go there. You don't have to be the one to change it. You tell the person, please check this thing, probably replace it. Very easy. Or if you can't, if you don't have the time, then you give somebody who can actually diagnose your car the proper way, which most likely they will charge you a little bit higher than those local ones who don't know how to properly diagnose cars, except to trial and error. Period. Those are two ways. I don't need to sugarcoat words to you too. I know people always like to people to be politically correct in their words. It's pointless if you don't, because it's better for you. If you can't handle it, then don't buy it. Don't need to sugarcoat words. So I'm being direct. Another factor that could make you to hate 406 or 407 is if you go and buy an abused one, a mercilessly abused one, and thinking that, come on, any roadside person can be able to fix some of this problem. Yeah, well, you will see it, you hear it by yourself. I mean, some things are better experienced than experienced. So if you go, the first step is do not buy an abused one. So in that case, since you have no idea about Peugeot 406 or 407 system, especially the electrical system, then don't go all by yourself and go and buy it and then start to expect wonders. I meant. There are a few people who are lucky they went and blindly bought any of these two cars, and luckily there was no abuse on them, or at least severe one, electrical. While some stupidly, I will call it stupidly, they will just go. They are thinking of, the sound of engine. Well, these are modern cars that are electronically controlled. No, they are focusing on the sound of engine. So do not go and buy by yourself, and do not take your mechanic to go and buy a car. Your local mechanic, in that case, you can also go and buy it yourself. Don't bother with the local mechanic. If you cannot take someone that can properly understand the electrical system of the vehicle, to know what to look out for while inspecting such cars, you can only afford a local mechanic who only understands what the engine sounds like, whether the engine is smoking, or whether the engine is weak, or whether gearbox is noisy, or whether gearbox is not shifting well, automatic, or whether clutch is bad, or whether the shock absorber is making noise, or any other suspension noise, or whether there's a brake issue. If those are your issues, your area of focus, go and buy it yourself. Don't waste that small money you are going to pay them, because it's going to be the same thing. You are going to enter the same mess if you end up, if the one you are checking is a mercilessly electrically abused one, which is the first thing you pointed out. So, that's why all this is I tell you how to avoid buying a messed up one. Trust me. I always tell people I'm a living proof. Look at this. I just talked about my 406 V6 manual. The engine has never been removed since the car was produced in 2000, 2000. No fuse has caught on that car. Nothing. The engine, everything has been there intact. This is the first time. The first time I'm here, something broke down that will require me to remove the engine so I can assess something that is either between the gearbox or the gearbox itself. Like I said, most likely it might not be the gearbox, but I know the noise is coming from, it's in between the gearbox or the gearbox. And the reason why I'm not suspecting that it could be the gearbox because of the oil was too low. It was too low for the protection of the gearbox, but then it hasn't dried up completely, so most likely it hasn't really caused any harm. So if it's the clutch, maybe something broke, not necessarily that the clutch pot friction plate has burnt, or that the pressure plate has worn out and started vibrating or became hard, or the release bearing is making noise or vibrating when the press. None of them. So it's most likely something just got loose and entered there and damaged, or I don't know what it is. Until we pull out the engine, we will now find out what is going on there. My point is, this is how old. How old is the car? Since 2000. It's called maintenance. Avoid abuse. Avoid abuse. It's not a 50 or 100,000 kilometer used vehicle. Mileage has gone up. Avoid abuse. This is breakdown. This is not the first time the car has ever broken down, but this is the first time a breakdown is going to make me to pull the engine. Not necessarily, which has nothing to do with the engine, but it's just that for me to assess what is causing, or to actually, in fact, it's basically like for me to actually diagnose fully the source of the noise, I will have to remove the engine. So that's what I'm saying. If I could use this car for how many years without any major breakdown, why not another person? And this is even a more complex 406 than the standard 4-cylinder one that are less complex. So 407 is more complex than 406 electrically, but they use the same engine, share the some gearboxes. They use some. The gearboxes are similar; they are not identical. Let me put it this way, but the engines are mostly identical, except like the V6. So EW12, one of them is not identical with the one in 406, but you can get another like 2.2. You can get identical one, 2.2 in 406, in 407. But there's a revised version of 2.2 that you will not find in 406. Likewise, the gearbox, the automatic gearbox in 406 V6 is not the same automatic gearbox in 407 V6. The 407 V6 automatic is better than the that of 406. So what I'll tell you, if you are going for 407 and you want the automatic gearbox you enjoy more, it has to be V6. It's as simple as that. It has to be V6. That's the only gearbox I'll tell you you will enjoy driving more than the 4-cylinder. It doesn't mean the 4-cylinder will give you so many problems. I don't like those 4-cylinder automatic transmissions, which is AL4. Whether it's giving you problem or not, just that it's not a smooth shift. I don't know. It's not a smooth shifting gear transmission. It doesn't. It's just, I don't enjoy driving it. The 6-speed, it has its own weakness, but compared to the AL4, but it doesn't mean just that. See, the V6 is cheaper to maintain. The V6 automatic transmission, which is AM6, is cheaper to maintain in terms of the ATF if you are using the recommended or a good alternative. The other one is more expensive if you are looking for a good alternative ATF. Some people use local ATF and they tend to work for them for both gearboxes, whether the V6 one or 4-cylinder transmission ATF. So I don't know if it must be automatic. One thing I'll tell you, go to the market, find out how much does automatic gearbox in 406 cost, whether it's the V6 one or 4-cylinder one. Go to and also find out how much does the V6 automatic transmission in 407 cost. Likewise, the 4-cylinder V6 in 407 is all kind of, it's the same gearbox, like apart from the 2.2 407, which is 4HP20. Just find out the prices, then you decide, okay, which one should I go for in case one decide to fail in future. If you can afford, even if you prefer 4-cylinder, but if you can afford, if it fails, you change it. Why? Because I can't tell you, go for use transmission to decide whether which one to go for. Then, because if you go for V6, you sacrifice fueling, that's spending more on fueling the car than the 4-cylinder. There's no two ways about it. It consumes a little bit more than the 4-cylinder. So you may enjoy the transmission, but you spend more on fueling the car. So if you don't want to go for 4-cylinder, This means it has more power. So that additional power will cost you some fuel, additional fuel, for you to enjoy that power. So personally, I prefer manual, but I know automatic is not, manual is not for everybody. Some people don't like manual. So, so I don't know. I think I've made cleared it out. I don't know what else to add. See, go through all my videos. You see so many things I've said. Their weaknesses, 406, 407, all their weaknesses. You will find them all through my videos. Just do a search there. Click my username and then put the whatever 406, Peugeot 406 weaknesses, or strength and weaknesses, or annoyances or positives. You start getting some of the certain things that will help you make a decision. They're all good. 407 suspension costs you more to maintain, so don't take it for granted. 407 suspension will cost you more to maintain, especially if you're a rough driver. If you drive very roughly, if you're all these people that when you're driving on rough road, you speed your car. In fact, that's even when you speed as if you're on expressway or highway. When you're on rough road or potholes, then you'll be ready. You'll be spending a lot of money fixing your suspension in 407. 406 will cost you less to maintain in that case. But still, it will fail. Doesn't mean it will not fail. If you're always driving very fast on rough road, it will cost you. All those things, the suspension are not meant. People think that, but you have good suspension, so you should have to drive as fast as you want. The faster you drive on rough road or pothole, the more it kills your suspension components. Period. People don't bother, or it's just that they don't even know. I don't, So that's 406, 407, they can serve you as long as possible. 406 is more rugged, period. It's more rugged than 407. If you like traveling all the time on Nigerian road, you're always on highway, and the road you are using there is very rough, potholes, this and that, and you need 406 might serve you better. But if you long journey, because of the suspension, the cost of repairing the suspension all the time you travel, that's what I'm saying. But if you drive more in the city and you travel less, then 407 can still serve you that purpose, since it's probably once in a year or twice in a year you travel. So in that case, it may not be a big deal. Just go to my videos, you'll get all your answers. So I hope I've answered. If you want more details, maybe you can now contact me. You pay at least the minimum of 7,000 Naira. They will talk. I'll call you via WhatsApp. We can talk 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. You ask all your questions, whatever you want to talk about, so that you get clearer, or you are better informed on what you want to do. But to rely on what your friends say that, oh, this guy is electrically problematic. Sure, yeah, they might be speaking from the experience of people around them that have messed up their own, or purchased a messed up one. So it's just that people are not very illogical sometimes, especially men. There are things that when they start to speak about, you wonder where is their logical, critical mind. You can't tell me that you as an adult do not understand that everything in life is about maintenance. So when somebody is complaining a car is dealing with him, doing this thing, don't you ever, even if you don't want to ask the person, so I won't look, you are being disrespectful. Want to, but you're supposed to have in the back of your mind, what if this guy is complaining, but why is he even maintaining the vehicle? When other people are enjoying one, or even if it's only 1 or 2 persons that enjoy their own, how come the person is enjoying, yet this person is having issues with you? Number one, is the person using the recommended engine oil, or is he using groundnut oil in the engine and expecting the engine to serve him like the one in the vehicle of the person that uses the recommended engine oil for his? That's what I'm saying. Critical mind. Those are sometimes men don't want to go deep. So whoever your friend means stop listening to them. I'm not saying they are wrong, but they are not giving you the full information. So they are only speaking from the biased position or ignorant position, because if they know better, they will know that if you are living in this northern part of Nigeria, for you to say 406 is a problematic car, people over here will laugh at you like hyena. No. So hope that helps. So like this video, subscribe to the channel, and watch out more for more videos. Right.